I get asked all the time for help building houses in The Sims, and trust me, I understand. Building is hard, and I've got a bunch of tutorial videos already, but listen, today we're gonna do a step-by-step walkthrough of a Dutch colonial house. I'm gonna give you some tips and tricks and also show you how to build a house like this, and hopefully it helps. You can follow along with me, and we're gonna build something kind of cute, and base game only. So here's what I've come up with. It's a little bit complicated with the roofing. I'll show you in a minute. There are a million pieces here, but I think it's a good starting point for us for this video, because I can show you how to do the roofing parts, I can show you the weird floor plan stuff. I mean, this is a doozy, as some might say. Of course, it'll be on my gallery when I'm done with it, and I'm gonna walk you guys through how I built this house and how you can build it too. Luckily, my friends on console finally have the gallery so they can get my builds that I'm doing for this. When I've done this in the past, console didn't have the gallery, and so the poor, unfortunate console souls, I had to be like, okay guys, here's the floor plan, take a screenshot, here's it with the grid on, which I'm still gonna do. By the way, here's the first floor with the grid on, if you're interested in taking a screenshot. It might help with the building, so I'd grab this if I were you. It's not furnished, I just have some objects placed to kind of show you guys what layout I think is gonna go on here. It is a 4-bedroom, 3-bathroom house. It's got 2 balconies and a big porch and also a fairly decent sized backyard. The actual shell of the house costs $30K. So that includes some of the furniture, right? So it's a little bit expensive, and it will be worse when you furnish it, but it's pretty and it's 4 bedrooms, so like, you know, and it's base game, so it's fine, right? Yeah, it's fine, yeah. But I am gonna show you guys how to build this house, so let's get rid of it. For those of you looking for floor plans, again, here is the first floor. I'm doing it with the walls down because the roofing upstairs is gonna make it a nightmare. And here is the second floor. Feel free to take your screenshots. Okay, we got screenshots? Nice. Now, I must show you guys all the roof pieces that are involved here. We've got this one on top of this. We have this one, that's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 different pieces of roof. And this is what the actual shell of the house looks like when you get rid of the roofing. You can see it's kind of odd. And we have all those roof pieces down because if we were to put the roof, like say we wanted to have that sort of look with one big gabled roof like this, it is possible. It looks a lot worse. But then when you go inside the house, when you try and furnish the upstairs, you can't even see it. So we have to place a bunch of roof pieces down so that we can avoid that weird nightmare. But this is so you guys can see sort of what the shape of the house actually looks like now. Because again, I know you're taking screenshots. So let's get rid of this though, and we will rebuild it from scratch. And I'll show you guys how. Step 1. As always, I always say this in my build tutorials, is to build a box and then make it fancy. This goes for any house you're trying to build. Starting out with like one major rectangle, I'll explain it more later, but like that major rectangle is the center of all of our roofing, it's the center of all of the house. This whole house really is just a rectangle, but like with a kind of funky, fancy second floor. So we're gonna make a 10 by 13 rectangle here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay, that's 13 wide, by the way, so it should be longer than it is tall. It's like right up on the edge of the lot too. It only has 2 tiles on the side of it here. Then we're gonna make a smaller fancy box. It's gonna be 4 by 6, and you're gonna put it right there so there's 2 tiles free above and below it, and then just 1 tile free on the side of the lot. We're really using the whole space here. And then on the far right side here, on this area, we're gonna put a chimney. It's just 2 by 1 in the middle of that space. That's gonna go all the way up, like fully 3 stories. So you can do that right now if you want to. You don't have to. But that's all the wall space there is on the first floor. It's really just a big box. There is a porch in the front. That's gonna be 5 by 3. You wanna put a 3 tile wide door right in the center of it. So it's like right in the center of the house. We can put that in right now if you want to. That's where the front door goes. I also put it up on like a 2 or 3 high foundation. You can do it however you please. I think I usually do 3 for houses, but I like 2 also. Kind of just depends how you're feeling, you know? The back also has a little balcony space patio thing, but that's just 3 wide and goes all the way across the whole back of the house. And that, my friends, is the entire first floor. This wall's gonna stay for the floor plan, by the way, so you can just leave that there if you want. But now we go up, and this is where it gets a little bit more complicated. So this whole second floor, you're gonna build a box. It's gonna be 6 wide, and it's gonna go across the whole size of the house. So it's gonna be 6 by 13. You should have 2 free tiles in the front and the back, and then obviously it should line up with this little bump out balcony thing we've got going on here. And now we add our weird bump outs. You can click on this little porch we have in the front here, and then click on the yellow part, and then build a ceiling. That's gonna be a little balcony in the front of the house, so it can help you sort of see what we're doing here. We're gonna add a 3 by 2 bump out here in the front of the house, right in the middle. It should go up to the edge of that main front line, but obviously not going on to the balcony. And then you're also gonna wanna add some little dormers. They're 1 over from each side of the house and 2 by 1 wide. So you can put them just like that. And then we're gonna copy that same exact thing on the back of the house. 2 by 1 dormers right there. And then you get a little 3 by 3. So it looks kind of odd, as you can see. There's just a bunch of weird boxes going on, but it's gonna look super cute from the house. Right now I'm gonna delete the walls. What I'm doing, instead of using the sledgehammer because it's kind of tedious, if you get the wall tool, you can press B for a shortcut to it, and you hold Control, you can redraw those walls and delete them so easily. That is like a life-changing feature. Because when you have like a big wall delete, say you wanted to change this whole wall, to delete that with a sledgehammer, first of all, you could like make mistakes and delete more things than you want to. And to do it 1 by 1 is so annoying. But if you hold Control and draw it again, so easy. It's like magic. But we're not gonna delete anything. Don't delete anything downstairs just yet. You can just open it up upstairs. And that is the whole shell. I say that we put the floor plan in before we do the roof because the roof is complicated. Let's just do all the walls right now. I'm gonna put some random lights in. They don't need to stay where they are. It's just to help you guys see better on the inside here. Oh, that looks horrible. I'm sorry. Oh God. Ooh, yikes. As a general tip, I usually try and start with the stairs because in my mind, the stairs kind of like dictate how the whole rest of the floor plan goes. They can kind of be a divider for things. They can be a feature if you want. They help with the whole upstairs floor. I mean, you can't do the upstairs without putting the stairs in first, right? Because you need to know what the stairs are going to be for a landing. So I always do the stairs first. What we're going to do is make things very complicated. Let's first put a door straight across from the front door. That's where the back door is going to go to the patio. It's super easy. I want you guys to build a wall straight down the whole right side of that door. And honestly, do it down the whole left side as well. We're sort of dividing the house like this. It's like a classic older house. A lot of them have more closed off floor plans. This one's not super closed off. We're gonna have the kitchen and dining on the right side, and then like a living room and a study on the left, bedroom downstairs, and then some more bedrooms upstairs. In my mind, you maybe have like grandma living here and her bedroom is right here. And then the kids' rooms are upstairs. That's how I'm picturing this house to be. Now, we're gonna actually delete 3 of these walls. You don't want the first 3 walls there that are next to the door in the back. This wall on the left side should just be 7 tiles high. You can draw that straight across and make a little 2 by 3. That's gonna be a bathroom. And then this main part here in the front, that weird little room, that's gonna be the entryway. I kind of like having a sort of fun defined entryway. The stairs are gonna go in here. And we're gonna do some little angled stairs. So if you didn't know, they added a stair update and you can now like move things around and make L-shaped stairs and all kinds of stuff. Now we're gonna do that too. So what you're gonna do, place a piece of stairs down randomly anywhere, just like facing the back of the lot, and then grab this little thingy here, turn it to the right just 1, and then you wanna pick up those stairs, move them. You can press the little like greater than or less than signs to rotate them if you want, and we're gonna rotate them and put them back there at the end of that room. So they fit perfectly in the room. It makes for a cute little staircase. It kind of is like a feature, you know, for a fun little entryway here. We're also gonna have some archways in there. I like to use this one, the keystone style arch, and just put it right next to the front door on either side. That'll take you into both rooms. And then you could put like a little desk or like a bookshelf, I don't know, something, maybe a fish tank if you wanted to. But now this room's gonna be fully open. I just defined the spaces with different counters and stuff, so we don't need to put any more walls down here. Now, in the middle of this weird 2 by 3 bathroom, you can draw a wall straight across there as well. I wanted to have like a sort of defined living space and then a defined study space, mostly because I wanted to have walls that I could put bookshelves on. So this back room, kind of this weird, like, I don't know what shape that is. It's some sort of weird, almost rectangle. That's the study. You can put a desk in there and stuff, and then this is the living room. And that is the whole downstairs floor plan. Now the upstairs is a little bit more complicated because there's just more rooms. And not everything is all straight. So bear with me. We're gonna first draw some walls around the stairs, kind of similar to how they were downstairs, just sort of following that L shape. But you're gonna take it out 1 further. So there's 1 tile in front of the staircase and bring that down. This is gonna be the entry to most of the bedrooms on this side of the house. This wall can go all the way up to the top. Same thing with this one that we've got over here on the right side of the stairs. Bring that all the way up to the top. You got a bedroom here in the middle. Now I wanted to put a bathroom up here. You could have an extra big bedroom if you wanted to. I put a bathroom 2 tiles up from the front there. That becomes a bathroom. So you have 2 kids' bedrooms, a big master bedroom that we're gonna actually split off into having a bathroom as well. But you don't need to. If you want to have a big master, you can just have the one bathroom up here. 2 tiles down from the back, I just drew a whole wall across there. So it's kind of a smaller master bedroom, but I think it's nice to have extra bathroom space in these houses. If you've got packs like get together, you could put a little closet in there if you wanted to. I'm just gonna make it one big bathroom though. And that is the whole upstairs. Because it's so small, some of the doors kind of go into weird places. I ended up putting the door into the master bathroom right there, like on the far corner. There's only one spot it can go in the hallway. You know, we've got some doors like in the corner there in both places, but there is ways to get into all of these rooms. So, I mean, it works. And I kind of like how the bedrooms are a little bit small. I think they're cozy. They're kind of fun to decorate this way. It's so hard to decorate big houses, you know? But that, you guys, is the entire shell of the house. We'll do windows and stuff last. I want to put the roof down first now because the roof, like I said, is where it gets a little bit complicated. All right, so here's what we're gonna do. Let's mark out our balcony space. And also, step 1, let's go ahead and build a ceiling on top of that patio in the back as well because we'll need that there. This house, luckily, is almost symmetrical on the front and the back. So we can just copy and paste our things once we've got them built on one side. Now, usually we try and build a roof based off of the main box of the house. That's this main big rectangle. But because we're gonna try and do it smaller, because we don't wanna, again, have that weird roof piece that sort of like hides the whole upstairs because we can't furnish it, we're gonna try and build all of these pieces separately. So we're gonna put a gabled roof up here, we're gonna put some half gableds down here, and then that way, they're gonna all be on different floors and not clip super weird. So let's do it. Like I said, step 1, you're gonna take a half gable. We're gonna do the sides of the house first. You wanna put a half gabled roof on this little 2-tile weird bump out front piece thing. Now what you want to do also is hold shift at the top. We don't want there to be an overhang there. So if you hold shift, it gets rid of the overhang on just the top and not the bottom. We want this one on the bottom there still. So hold shift to get rid of that. And you're gonna wanna drag it up so it lines up just above the line of the roof there. And then you can drag that all the way across. Now, you can see there's a bit of an issue because now you can see a little bit of the roof here in front of the patio. It doesn't matter, your Sims will clip through it, so it won't actually make a difference when your Sims are trying to walk there, but it's kind of odd. So you can work around that if you want. But step 1, let's go ahead and copy this and put it in the back. Same place in the back, directly lining up with the roof there. But because we don't want to have that weird clipping, we're gonna do a little workaround. So what you want to do, make a smaller piece that goes all the way up just to the wall, and then do it again on the other side. Now you see how it's kind of weird and it clips a little bit still into the roof? You can hold shift and get rid of just the left and right sides on these builds. And so you see how I made it so it lines up like perfectly. There's no clipping. It won't clip in the ceiling either. It does clip in the ceiling in these parts, but I don't think it matters too much to have a tiny bit of roof clipping there in the front. But that way the door doesn't have like weird shingles underneath it because why would you have shingles under your door? But you see, it isn't actually that complicated. It just takes a little bit of, you know, placement and stuff to grab all these pieces. But now we can put the full gabled roof up top. So you want to get this gabled roof. You want to make sure it lines up and covers this whole box. But you can see it has like some weird overhang that doesn't match. You can get rid of all the overhang on both sides and drag that all the way across. Now, it looks kind of odd when it's that tall, I think, so I lowered mine a few little steps. You can put it however you like to your taste, but I'm gonna put it like down, what, 1, 2, 3 maybe? Yeah, down 3, maybe even down 4 if you want to, but I'll put it down 3. Now, our dormers here, they're gonna be rounded. So you can put a little gabled roof on there, make sure it fits the spot right there. Now you can round it however much you like. I'm gonna round mine like about that much and also lower it down like what, 1, 2, 3 maybe? Yeah. It's all up to your personal preference though, you can do it however you want. And then I'm also gonna drag that all the way across to the other side. You could just copy and paste it down if you want to, but it's also easy just to drag it across, so you can do that if you'd like. And then you can copy it again and put it over the main part. All 3 of these dormers are gonna have just a nice little rounded bit on them. Now in my original build, to kind of match this like Dutch colonial style, I actually put some more half-cabled pieces down right here on the left and right side of this front dormer, and we'll do it again on the back. So we're gonna do that now. This is where it gets a little complicated, so I'm sorry you guys. You don't have to do it if you don't want to, but I like how this looks. So I'm gonna take a half gabled roof piece. We want it to be just like 1 tile wide. So I'm gonna take a half gabled roof piece, put it down on the left side of this room, make it 2 tiles wide. We're gonna shift click again to get rid of just the top overhang there. And you wanna line it up with this overhang on the dormer. Now, it's weird because it has these overhangs still, get rid of those. And then you can try and make sure that it lines up perfectly. And you can see it sort of like lines up perfectly. But you can just take that and then copy it and rotate it so it's on the right side and do that same thing on the back if you want to. I don't wanna drag it across because it has that weird overhang inside the build. So you could even line this up and sort of like shift click, get rid of overhang so it lines up exactly with the walls because you don't want to have any overhang on the inside. It doesn't really matter, like I said, you can have as much overhang as you want. It's just easier to furnish if there's not any. So I'm just gonna get rid of it and line it up with the walls there. But like I said, you can just copy that onto the back side because it's symmetrical. And boom. Oh no. We have a mistake. Let me quickly grab that there. And that is all the roofing on the house. I like to use this square roof trim, put it on every single roof piece, and there are a bunch of them, so I'm sorry. Okay, and last but not least, simple, easy porch roof. We're gonna put a half-gabled roof on this back porch here. You can cover the whole thing, and then you just wanna line it up so it sort of like lines up perfectly here with the roof. And that, my friends, is all the roofing done. It isn't that bad, I swear, I swear. I'm gonna put some roof trim on all the pieces. Make sure you don't miss any, because there are a bunch of random little ones. And that's the whole shell of the house done. You can pick out whatever sort of, fencing you want to put on the balconies. This sort of house looks great in Brindleton Bay. It's like the style. So if you have cats and dogs, you could use some cats and dogs fencing if you want. Obviously, I'm playing with just the base game right now, so I'm gonna use base game fencing. But I put it around all of those. You can put some columns in, cute, casual little stuff. I like to put some exterior trim on these weird bits. I think it looks kind of odd here on this balcony, but if you put some exterior trim, it makes it look a little bit more finished. Same thing on this side, might as well, right? Obviously you can paint the house and do whatever you want with the roof coloring. Now keep in mind, there are a bunch of random little pieces of roof that are gonna be so annoying to paint, so I'm really sorry. See, I even missed a roof piece. Oh, another one, look at me go, I'm terrible. See what I told you, you're gonna miss roof pieces. There's so many of them. And we wanted this piece on the side over here to be a nice chimney sort of thing. I think it adds some little detail. I like to put a tiny, tiny half wall at the top of it just to sort of like round it off. Cover it in brick, just as chimneys are. There are actually a ton of chimney actual pieces you could put in that. You might need to put on the cheat bb.move objects on to place it in there. You can see it looks kind of odd when it's that tall. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna place it on the floor before that, and then I'm gonna raise it up. So if you hold 9 or 0, you can raise or lower objects. You might want to hold Control 9 at the same time so you don't have any weird camera glitches. Sometimes when you just press 9, it like moves the camera because you've got a camera set for there. So hold Control, that won't happen. Kind of just high enough that it sort of sits there above it. So it looks like an actual chimney, not just like a random half wall. You can do some white trim up there too. Maybe even like black trim if you wanted to match the chimney. And there you have it. It's basically finished. Aside from, all the furnishing, all the windows. We're gonna do that same thing with the holding 9 to place windows on these dormers because I think the default place that they end up is kind of weird. It looks like weirdly low. So if you use 9, you can raise the windows up. I'm gonna place them up like 2 pieces. I think it looks better there, like just a little bit higher up. And then it doesn't have to be weirdly alt placed because when you alt place things, you might try and match it, but get it like a little bit too high or too low. If you hold 9, you can get it to move up like 1 tick at a time and then it'll end up in the right place. That is a pro tip for sure. I like to use windows like this one, this 3-wide one, because I put black shutters on these windows. This one doesn't have black shutters for some reason, they're just brown. So I used this window instead in the back there. The windows are so odd in this game. We got that door update that made them all match. I cannot wait for a window update. That is my dream. I also made the doors green. You could do red if you wanted to. I liked that like fun little pop of color. It could just be white if you'd like also, but I kind of liked having the little green touches on the doors. It's also kind of cute because now the master bedroom has their own private balcony and there's one in the hallway too. So you could like put a chess table out here. You could have like some painting. There could even be a hot tub up here if you wanted to. I don't know why you put a hot tub up here, but like maybe you wanted a hot tub. Put it right there. I don't care. Now, I'm gonna be honest, even I have not perfected the art of putting doors and windows together over here, because I put a door in the center of this, and then I put a couple windows next to it, but like, for them to be at the same height as the rest of the windows, they have to be high up, and it looks kind of odd, but I think they look too low when they're right there, even though it like lines up with the top of the door, so I don't know what to do about this. I'm gonna be honest, I'm not sure what the best way to place those windows is. It depends if you want it to look better on the inside or the outside, but because that's better on the outside, and I think that maybe the windows being similarly high in here is better, but whatever. They can just be lower, it doesn't matter. I'll just put some random wood flooring like everywhere. We get some random tile in the bathrooms. A lot of times when I build houses unfurnished, I like place down tile in the bathroom and kitchen just as like a placeholder, like, hey, by the way, This is supposed to be a bathroom. You'll notice in real life a lot of the time that on the front and back of houses, they don't always look super great. Like people focus more on like the street appeal from the front, and then on the back and the sides, it's more based on like what looks good on the inside of the house. And so especially with this house, I wanted to have single windows on the kitchen because it's easier to like put a sink underneath one. Because with these, you can't like have the sink centered easily underneath a too wide window because it's too wide. So I ended up just putting one wide windows downstairs. I think it still looks nice. I mean, you can always change it. The thing is, it doesn't really matter how the windows in the back look. I've kind of accepted that fate for my Sims builds. I kind of prefer it look better from the inside. So I'm gonna put some stairs directly in the front and back of this area, right in front of the doors. And that is basically the whole exterior done here. Obviously you're gonna wanna add some like archways or doors downstairs too. We didn't do that just yet. My bad. It depends how you wanna furnish the house too, where you wanna put the doors. But I was kind of thinking we could have maybe like a fireplace right there. Obviously the chimney's on this side of the house and the fireplace is over here, but like, I don't really care. You could have a fireplace in here if you wanted to also. It's the dining room and kitchen, so it would make sense. But I wanted a fireplace in the living room. You get a rug right there. You'll notice that these rooms are both very perfectly sized to fit this size of rug. This is my favorite rug size. I think it helps with like getting a nice sized living space also, because you get a couch right there. I mean, look, that like perfectly fits the couches we need. So I oftentimes base the size of rooms because I know it can be kind of hard to decide like how big does this living room need to be? A lot of times my living rooms are like about this size so that this rug fits nicely in it. Same thing with dining rooms. It's a nice standard size, in my opinion. You get a nice 3-wide table even, put some chairs in it. Terrible color combo, but you know what? That's okay. I don't care. I had the kitchen back here in my version of the build, about that size. I think that looks pretty good, to be honest. You could even get some like bar stool seating if you wanted to. I wanted to show you guys a quick tip about counters though, because maybe you want to have a round island in this kitchen, which I love to do. I don't know if you knew this, but you can click this little gear icon and it opens up all kinds of special counter pieces, and you can use those to make some sort of fun shaped islands and kitchens. I mean, look, you can combine all those little rounded edges and make a whole circle island. And I kind of like those. I don't think it fits in this kitchen. It might be too small in this kitchen, but in certain kitchen shapes, a nice round island looks really good. Before I forget, we should get some railings on this staircase because if not, people are gonna die. This is not up to code. And again, with stuff like that, you don't have to follow exactly what I'm doing. Pick whatever railing you want, you know, it doesn't really matter. But now that the whole house is basically done from the outside, you can furnish it however you want on the inside. You can even change the floor plan if you wanted to. I want to show you guys quickly how to landscape. At least how I might landscape this house. To be honest, I might, for starters, scoot it back like one tile. I also kind of want a fence in the backyard as well. We want some privacy here. Now, I will admit, this is kind of an annoying placement for fencing because the lot is so small. I don't like to have my fences line up to the edge of a patio. I think it looks kind of weird. We always could do that if we wanted to, though. It's the same exact height, so it kind of works. But sometimes I'll have the fencing go like one tile outside of it, and it makes a weird little nook, but honestly, hear me out, you could stick the trash can back there in the weird nook. Your Sims can still get to it, but at least it's not in the way. It's not like an ugly eyesore trash can ruining your view. A lot of landscaping depends on budget. Obviously, if you're playing with a family that doesn't have a ton of money, this house is already kind of expensive. I mean, we're looking at $32K just for the shell of an empty house. There isn't even wallpaper inside yet. So if you're playing with cheats, you know, go wild. Place some expensive trees. I love a good, big, beautiful oak tree like this. You can stick one in the front and in the backyard. I mean, like, what a fun time that would be to have in real life. Like, picture the swings you could attach to this. That is the dream. Maybe placing those oak trees sort of ran you out of money. There is a way to landscape for free. Now, I must warn all of you, this is going to involve some nightmare cheating and a nightmare build catalog, but if you type testing cheats on bb.show hidden objects, that's the debug cheat that unlocks debug, and then a second level bb.show live edit objects, that opens up all of the world items. So like all the landscaping you see in the world, there are some things that we have in our catalog, you know, like these little bushes and these little plastic looking things, but there are also some other bushes, like these bigger ones back here. There are some fences, you know, these bushes we don't have. There's some trees we don't have. There's a ton of items that we don't actually have in our landscape catalog, but they exist in the game for the environment. Now that cheat we just did unlocks all of that. We can use this fence, we can use those bushes. The issue is just finding them. So if you search debug, it'll all come up. You have to search debug. Now these items aren't tagged. You can't like search for bushes, you can't search for rocks. But if you scroll far enough, look, I already see one here. We got this little bush here. That's kind of cute. But it just is called debug. You can't search it. You can't duplicate it. You can't shift click and place more than one at once. It's super annoying to work with, but they're like genuinely very pretty, and they have swatches. I mean, look at that. So we could place some of those, you know, maybe size it down. But you might be noticing, you see how that jumps up to the wrong height? Isn't that infuriating? A lot of times when I landscape, I remove the whole foundation. Just for landscaping, I'll put it back eventually. But like for the sake of us doing the landscaping, it's so annoying to landscape when things are jumping up to the foundation height. This way I can scoot things closer to the foundation and rotate them, and they won't like randomly jump up too tall, because God, isn't that so frustrating? That's my number one pro tip, is remove the foundation. You can put it back always super easily, but at least your landscaping won't jump up too tall, right? I like to use this tall bush. I mean, they even have like some of the existing trees. That's a regular base game tree. They have some kind of fun, funky looking trees. They've got cool things like this. They've even got hanging plants. It's just annoying because you can't actually search through debug, so you have to just kind of scroll through it and find stuff that works and then place it down. But it's better than nothing. At least in my opinion. And that way it's free. Like this is a regular base game bush, but I can place it from debug for free and save a ton of money. Because landscaping is so expensive. When you're playing like with a legacy family, no longer do you need to have a giant empty lot. You don't deserve that. Some of them look kind of weird though, like things like this, because they are just like environment set pieces, so you'll find some sort of odd looking things in here too. But you'll also find some fun, darker swatches. Like this bush by default is that like bright green color. Look, it's a darker swatch. What a nicer version of that bush. So there are some hidden gems amongst the weird nightmares. I mean, look, some of these trees, like I like this one a lot too. Personally, that's a personal fave of mine. Maybe we can stick like 2 of those back there. Sizing down and sizing up objects, also a super great trick to making things look good in The Sims when you're landscaping, because you can have like more variation in your builds. Like these are a little bit smaller than these, because in real life, listen, all your bushes are not the same size. That's not how plants work. You can try and shape them nicely, but most of the time, like if you're growing a rose bush, your roses are not all gonna be the same. In The Sims, they're plastic and identical, but they don't have to be. You can size them down and get some more variation. Also, just so you know, all of the packs have debug as well. I don't have any installed right now, so I can't like filter through it to show you, but you could filter by pack. You can filter by just base game, you can filter by just get together, and if you scroll down far enough, there's a lot of really nice things in get together, debug especially, island living as well, but you can find most of the default base game and other pack landscaping, but also some more other things. Like we've seen some of the other, like these bushes, you know, that you can't find in the build catalog but do exist in game. Keep in mind though, your Sims will walk through these objects. They aren't like your Sims don't see them as being objects. They are like decorative. So your Sims will walk straight through them. So if you care about that, maybe don't use them, but it is a fun tip to get some free landscaping. As far as the rest of the house goes though, I might stick down some bushes. I love this hedgerow thing. It's a little bit big, so if we size it down, we can use it to sort of line the house, which I love to do. You can also overlap them. I mean, who cares? It's a bush. But I think getting some nice like hedges in and stuff, that is the key to making the house not look so bad. It really helps. And like I said, sizing down, a magical addition. Back in the olden days of The Sims, we didn't used to have that. So now I'm gonna add some more landscaping. I love to use these low-lying flowers, the low-lying pale yellow flowers, to sort of line like the outside of what a flower box would be. Maybe flower box is probably the wrong word, but I sort of line this like area like that. You can even continue it down further this way to fill up this whole space, but then I use that as like the borders of my landscaping, and then we'll put more bushes in that area. I love this bush. I think it's adorable. We can like stick one of those down, size it down, put another one over there, stick some dirt terrain paint under them. I think terrain paint is a very underrated feature. It's a game changer for sure. Okay, and I must tell you guys, so I'm not kidding when I say this. When I was streaming the other day, my chat didn't know that you could erase terrain paint. I'm not kidding. There were people that were like, oh my God, there's an eraser tool, what? And so I'm just gonna clarify right now, for those of you that may not know, I know many of us are laughing, but I'm not kidding. There are people that didn't know. If you make a mistake with your terrain paint and you wanna get rid of it, you don't have to bulldoze all the terrain paint. There is an eraser tool. It's right here underneath the paintbrush tool. You can erase it. The eraser exists. It's the same as the brush, but you can get in different sizes. It's the same thing. It just erases instead of paints. An eraser tool exists. People in my chat were like, what? I didn't know. I've been bulldozing the terrain paint this entire time for one mistake and trying to like repaint the grass to match. And I was like, oh guys, there's an eraser. We can stick a little maybe gravel sort of pathway here in the front. All right, let's put the foundation back up now that we're done. Obviously I haven't landscaped the back yet, but nah. Who cares? We'll get our little staircase back here. Let's not forget the railings. Never forget the railings, you guys. We're not trying to kill anybody here today. And boom, a Dutch colonial. I hope this build tutorial helped. Obviously it's gonna be on my gallery if you're interested. I love the idea of this house. Like, I think it'd be so fun to play in. I like the idea of like, you know, young couple, they're 2 kids, mom lives with them, grandma's here downstairs. They could have like some playground stuff in the backyard. The parents have a private balcony. Like, how fun is that? And honestly, balconies in The Sims, very useful. There are so many like weird objects that you kind of need but don't want to have in your house. Like this thing. Maybe your Sim's like a scientist. Where are you gonna put the microscope? Right here on the balcony. And look, the tree covers it from the front, from the street. It's a great spot for it, I'm just saying. I'll link some more videos like this down below if you're interested in more build tutorial type things. I've also got Builder's Bible videos that are just purely tips. We're not gonna build a house, they're just like, here's me being like, oh, here's a cheat you might like. Here's a thing you might need to know. You can use a terrain paint eraser if you'd like. Because apparently some people don't know. I'm not shaming you. I'm just pointing it out. We're all learning, it's okay. But on that note, I am gonna go, so please make sure to leave a like and comment and subscribe and do all those fun YouTube things. And in case you guys didn't know, I post new videos every single day, and so I will see you all tomorrow. Bye, everybody. This one's kind of cute. I'm kind of proud of it, honestly. And it's base game. You can build cool things with just the base game, as evidenced by all of these tutorials I've done. Sims packs are overrated. That's not true. I didn't mean that. EA, keep sending them to me.